Welcome to Lesson 9.3, Fermentation. In this lesson, we'll explain how organisms get energy in the absence of oxygen and identify the pathways the body uses to release energy during exercise. In the previous lesson, we learned about aerobic respiration. This is where glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen to release energy. In the absence of oxygen, fermentation releases energy from food molecules by producing ATP. Fermentation is an anaerobic process that occurs in the cytoplasm of cells. Sometimes glycolysis and fermentation are together referred to as anaerobic respiration. There are two different forms of this process: alcoholic fermentation and lactic acid fermentation. In alcoholic fermentation, yeast and a few other microorganisms use alcoholic fermentation, which produces ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. You'll notice that the process starts with glycolysis, which is the breaking down of glucose and releasing of two ATP molecules. This is all the energy that is released in alcoholic fermentation. Pyruvic acid is formed. It undergoes a series of reactions releasing carbon dioxide and ethyl alcohol, or ethanol. This is what helps bread rise. Yeast ferment the sugars in the dough, releasing alcohol, which is burned off in the baking process, and the carbon dioxide forms little pockets in the dough, which causes the bread to rise. Most organisms carry out fermentation using a chemical reaction that converts pyruvic acid to lactic acid. This process, lactic acid fermentation, starts with glycolysis, glucose being broken down and releasing ATP. In lactic acid fermentation, the pyruvic acid is converted to lactic acid. This occurs in our muscle cells. Humans are lactic acid fermenters. During brief periods without oxygen, many of the cells in our bodies are capable of producing ATP by lactic acid fermentation. The cells best adapted to doing that are muscle cells, which often need very large supplies of ATP for rapid bursts of activity. Cellular respiration releases energy more slowly than fermentation does. The body stores energy in muscle and other tissues in the form of carbohydrate glycogen. These stores of glycogen are usually enough to last for 15 or 20 minutes of activity. After that, your body begins to break down other stored molecules, including fats, for energy. Let's review the two forms of fermentation. Both forms begin with the process of glycolysis, where glucose is broken down into pyruvic acid. Two ATP molecules are produced. This occurs in the cytoplasm. In alcoholic fermentation, the pyruvic acid is converted to carbon dioxide and ethanol, or ethyl alcohol. In lactic acid fermentation, the pyruvic acid is converted to lactic acid. Both recycle the NAD molecule as hydrogens are captured and released in this process. In your notes, create a Venn diagram where you compare and contrast aerobic respiration with fermentation.